joining me today are Pavitra Chalam and Akshay Shankar. Thank you for talking to me, guys, and congratulations on a very important documentary.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shilpa.
You know, the difficult stories are the ones that must be told. What to you was the most difficult part of telling this important story?
I think the most difficult part was losing Runa. I think when we started out, we met this little girl, we were moved by her. She was and remains a symbol of hope. And we made a decision that we would follow her journey to its positive end, because in our minds, that end would be her walking down the road, her playing, her having a normal childhood. And when we lost her, I think that was really the hardest part. But what we decided was that the tragedy of losing her has never taken away from the hope, not for her and not for millions of other children like her. And so we transformed that profound loss into a story of hope, which is what we dreamed it would be.
Well, you do tell me that it's a tragic story, but yet one that's a symbol of hope. What to you represents hope in this story?
For us, right, when we first met Runa, we had just come off finishing doing another film about people with Down syndrome. So we've made quite a few films about families and people with complex needs. And what is extraordinary in all of their lives, and Runa's is one amongst them, is how, despite all odds, the families, move forward. They don't stop, they don't shut down their lives at all points of time. Actually, Runa, defeated the odds all the way. I mean, she should not have survived even up until the point when her photo went viral. And every day that she survived after that was a miracle. So, I mean, she just, to us, always represented immense strength and hope that things could get better. And if help could come to Runa in Tripura, in a tiny village, then there's hope for us all.
And I think her mother was able to navigate life against extraordinary odds. That in itself is such a hopeful and powerful story. And so in many ways, this is a story of hope.
Well, yes, indeed, that scene with the mother right at the end where she talks about how Runa comes in her dreams, that one definitely gave me goosebumps for sure. And I do agree that it is a story of hope. You see how these parents continue to root for their child and didn't give up hope for even a second. That's absolutely true. It's also true that there are millions of children born in this country with birth anomalies. How do you think documentaries such as this can help towards that cause?
So the place in which, millions of families live with birth defects. It is almost always invisible in India. And I think that if this film can get out there and even start a conversation, I think it's going to make a big difference, on the health agenda of this country and the world. Because if you don't see it and you don't experience it, you don't truly understand and you can't empathize. And, we experienced Runa with everything that she went through, and we wanted the world to experience her in the same way. And through that, hopefully, a conversation will start and lives can change. I think that's the greater dream when it comes to children and families with birth defects.
Well, how much do you think of that cause has been realized today? The documentary is out. Do you think it has sparked the kind of conversation that you hoped it would?
It's still early days, I would say, but just judging by some of the messages that we've received already, people saying that, we feel like we've been cut away from the real world, and we didn't know these things happened, and it's happened in our own country. And people even talking about the state of Tripura, saying that it's so, crazy that there are stories coming from the hinterlands of India. And it seems like there's a lot of appreciation that people are showing, saying that we didn't know. Now that we know, we care more and we want to know more, which was our dream. So we'll wait and see what this hopefully snowballs into. But just going by the initial reactions, we're feeling very good.
In fact, even in the reviews, people, are talking about healthcare. They're talking about child health. And the most important question, and this is the question that we wanted people to ask, was how can we help? And I think every message that we've got, it is, how can we help? And if even 1% of that can be converted into something, I think then it has definitely started the conversation.
Well, how can the people watching this help? That is an important question. How can they help?
I'll mention one thing that we've learned along this journey. When we first started off to shoot this story, when we first met Runa, we were quite angry. We were like, why has this happened? Why has this child lived for 18 months and no help has come her way? And we were determined to find a villain. We're like, we're going to go after someone. And I think as we've explored the topic and learned to understand more about healthcare in India, what we've learned is it is very complex, but there's one area which, if there's more focus, would make a huge difference. And that's specifically preventive maternal health, which is basically before the child is born, things that women can do, even before they're pregnant or while they're pregnant, that'll have a knock-on effect that'll affect, millions of children that could potentially, live a full life. So I would say that the way people can help is just to understand a little bit more about preventive maternal health and champion that for even simple things like making sure that you yourself or the people associated with you, like your domestic help, take their folic acid tablets, make sure anemia is something that's taken care of. Those are things that we can do from our own homes.
And I think early intervention, Shilpa, that is really the key, because had Runa's condition been diagnosed and treated at birth, she would have gone on to live a normal life. So I think whatever we can do in the space of preventive maternal health and early intervention, if we can even start with that, then we really do have, a future.
I've seen pictures from the end credits of the documentary and all of you bonding with baby Runa. So there really was an emotional bond formed while filming this documentary.
I mean, Runa is a child to all of us. At the time, none of us were parents, and we fought for her in the same way that Abdul and Fatima did. And, each one of us had our own relationship with her. She knew our voices. She responded to us. She was so resilient, and we took her everywhere. And she didn't complain. She never whined. She just happily came with us everywhere, on cars and buses and flights, in markets and restaurants, to hospitals and checkups and vaccines. She just somehow knew that we were rooting for her. And I think from the moment we saw her, without even speaking or looking at us, she changed our lives. And, right up till the end, and even now, she remains a very, very important part of our lives personally.
Well, of course, it must have been very emotionally challenging to shoot this documentary. But what were the kind of logistical challenges that you faced?
It was a logistical nightmare. I think, first of all, the biggest challenge was just uncertainty, right? Usually when we go after a production or a film, we have a good idea of, who your characters are, where is the story arc going, etc. With this film, we had no clue. We work out of Bangalore. We live in Bangalore. They live in Tripura. It takes us a good 15, 16 hours to go from door to door. One challenge has always been the funding. So, when you don't know what the next event in the story is going to be, it's difficult to plan for it. So we called in every favor from funding. That meant reaching out to friends and family. We ran a crowdfunding campaign. In fact, dear friends of ours even executive produced the film. Beyond that, even the cinematographers, the sound people, were sometimes people who said, I'll come on the schedule for free. Don't pay me for it. I just want to be part of it. We've been following this story for so long. And this story would not have been possible if it wasn't for that kind of faith in the story and for those kind of friendships.
And it was really an army, because every single person who was part of the journey is also in the credits. And, some of them wanted to remain anonymous, but every single friend and loved one came forward and helped us get the story to the finish line. So it really is incredible on that side.
Well, that's beautiful. And, I'm curious, a lot of times I hear actors, filmmakers say, I'm done with this project. I want to leave it and move on to the next one. But when you make a documentary like this, surely, leave alone moving on, it remains a part of your life.
I think the the gravity of the impact that her story has had on us will unfold for years. And in the kind of meaningful cinema that we work in, you never move on from anything, because you become a part of these people's lives, and every hero in our films remains with us. And through the telling of their stories, we learn more and we understand more. So I don't think we ever move on from our films. I think they just move with us into the next project.
Well, did you always want to be a part of the story, or did you want to just tell the story?
So to be honest, right in the beginning, we just got on a flight and went there simply because we were moved by a photo. As soon as we got there, I think it kind of happened very organically in a span of a few days, where Fatima, specifically Runa's mother, I think she saw us as a sort of a confidant of sorts. Also, pretty much the only person she could talk to in her dialect was our assistant director, Ananya Roy. So she could open up to her. And that's something that stayed true all through the years, because even back home in Tripura, probably in a village, it's difficult to open up to somebody because, that person is probably related to your cousin, or it's a very tight-knit community. Whereas with us, she could, kind of pour her heart out, say the things that, that were in her heart, but she couldn't really share with anybody else. So I think that affected our relationship from the beginning back to the end.
And there was a high level of empathy between, the team and Fatima, and it is a predominantly female-led crew. And I think it didn't matter to Fatima that we came from different cultural backgrounds. There was this intersection, like an unspoken bond. And as a result, we had this unique insight into her fears and, the things she dreamt about. And it's that honesty, if you watch the film, that, kind of fuels the narrative.
Well, yes, I did watch the film. I did watch the documentary. And just like I said at the beginning, it wasn't an easy watch, but it's something that everybody must watch, especially everyone in India, to understand, the state of the millions of children in the country, and understand what can be done to prevent it. And thank you so much for talking to me, guys. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Shilpa.
Thanks a lot.